It's time now for Mental Health Matters with your host, Lisa Reimer. Mental Health Matters is graciously underwritten by New Vision Eye Center, world-class eye care on the Treasure Coast. New Horizons thanks Dr. Paul Minotti, Dr. Stephen Tate, Dr. Robert Reinauer, and Dr. David O'Brien. Now, here's Lisa Reimer.
Mental health matters. Yes, emotional well-being is vitally important, but it's more than just that. Mental health issues influences a person's physical health. It can impact their behavior and even dictate the course of an entire life. Hello, my name is Lisa Reimer, and I'm the host of Mental Health Matters and the communications officer for New Horizons of the Treasure Coast in Okeechobee. And if you haven't heard of us, we're the largest mental health and addiction recovery agency in this region. We have 9 offices across 4 counties, and we serve 14,000 unduplicated children and adults annually, regardless of their ability to pay. In fact, 57% of our clients have no source of income or insurance, yet no one is turned away due to lack of financial resources. Our main campus is located on Midway Road in Fort Pierce. We have 100 inpatient beds for adults and children in crisis. We also have 8 outpatient offices across the 4 counties, 2 offices right here in Vero Beach, 1 in Okeechobee, 3 in St. Lucie County, and 2 in Martin County. So today's mental health matter is the Veterans Treatment Court. And in the last couple of weeks, we have spoken to Judge Cynthia Cox, who presides over that court. But today we are going to talk to the mentors who work with the clients in Veterans Treatment Court. And here to speak with us is Michael Bodner, Vic Diaz, and Sylvester McIntosh. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for being here. So I'm going to first go in that order and ask you to tell me a little bit about yourself and what arm of the military you served in.
Okay, I was in the United States Navy. I was a hospital corpsman. I retired as a senior chief hospital corpsman. Fleet Marine Force, which means even though I was in the Navy, I was assigned to the Marines. Marine Corps uses all the Navy medical personnel.
Oh, okay.
And I was also a surgical assistant. And so that's kind of what I did.
And how long have you lived in Indian River County?
In Indian River County, I've been here since 1975.
Okay, so you really know this area. And what about you, Vic?
I was a United States Marine for 6 years, served in Vietnam. Came home, got in trouble, got out of trouble, but there was nobody to help me but myself. So I had to search around and was able to get back on my feet. I've been living here for 11 years. I've been involved in advocacy for veterans for about 20 some odd years, helping file claims and assisting in Veterans Court, something that we felt was very much needed, and so far it's been quite successful.
Are you both part of the Indian River County Veterans Council?
No.
Oh, no. The Vietnam veterans.
Well, Vietnam veterans of Indian River
And so
County.
you were in Vietnam as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
And Desert Storm.
And did you have some influence in getting Veterans Treatment Court started?
Our group is the one who started
Oh, you guys are awesome. I know other things that you've done.
Yeah.
I mean, Doy Demsick was your president, correct?
No, Doy was the
program manager.
He was the program manager for the Veterans Council.
Oh, okay. So I got it all mixed up.
Right.
Okay.
We're a totally different, independent veterans group that handles veterans of all eras, but we have our own offices, and we have 6 service officers plus an attorney to help deal with all veterans issues.
Okay, so we're going to get back to how you got involved with Veterans Treatment Court, but Sylvester, let's hear a little bit about you. Where did you serve? And
You want to know where I served? I served 3 years in the Marine Corps, Vietnam. A few years ago, they finally wind up giving me the Silver Star after 50 years. I grew up here in Indian River County, 72 years. So this has been home for me, travel all over the world, but come back. And I got involved, and I'm a minister also. So not only have I pastored for over 33 years, I wind up been teaching now 25 years at Jacksonville Theological Seminary, and I saw it was necessary to give back to my community. So getting involved with that, I mean, I don't want to name all the different organizations that I'm in, but I'll be talking for a long time. So we wind up joining this group, and we've been together ever since.
So Vic, you brought it up that you got out of the service and you got in trouble. So you know what that's like, pulling yourself up by the bootstraps all alone.
Correct, I do.
Okay.
It's not easy. I actually didn't get a hand up from anybody but my family, and it was enough to get me started. Once my family, I went and lived one area, they lived elsewhere. They went one way, I went the other way. But I was able to live a prosperous life because somebody gave me a hand up. And that has always stuck with me. My very first job after getting out of trouble was working for a Marine lieutenant who had been medevac from Vietnam just as I had been. And my interview with him lasted 5 minutes, and he gave me the job. And from that point forward, I was able to live a good life because somebody gave me a hand up, and I was able to get into the mindset, that because he did, I needed to continue to pay back. And that's what I've done, for about 30 some odd years now. Paid back, or pay it forward, however you want to look at it. And so I moved here from Oregon. I'm originally from New York. I moved here from Oregon. I had formed a veterans outreach group in Oregon, North Bend, Coos County, Oregon. And it was real tough. I mean, veterans have a tendency to be their own worst enemy. They want to fight with each other, and everybody has their own opinion. As a Marine, you know what? It's adapt, improvise, and overcome. You get it done. You don't have time to argue. You just have time to get done what needs to be done. And that's what we did here. I first hooked up with Mike Bodner when I first got here 12 years ago. And it wasn't long after that I hooked up with Sylvester. But we all got together. We all had the same goal, that is to help veterans. So a logical extension of helping veterans was to look at everything that involves veterans issues. Getting in trouble is something veterans are real good at.
Well, Vic's being real. When he came, probably what got us all together was the Marine Corps League. So Vic came to one of our meetings, and he said to me, what do you do for the homeless in this county? I said, well, there isn't really anything. And he spearheaded it, and we got going. But none of the service organizations, the VFW, Marine Corps League, nobody really came together to really do anything. So that's why we formed the Vietnam Veterans of Indian River County. Mm-hmm. And that's really been what propelled us.
Do you work with Every Dream Has a Price?
I'm on the board of Every Dream Has a Price. Sylvester is also. And Vietnam Vets of Indian River County partner with Every Dream Has a Price. They build it, we manage it. Mm-hmm. And that's when we started that partnership is close to the same time as we started, well, no, that's true. Years ago when we first started, Mike and I, we tried to get Veterans Court going. It kind of got off to a start and then died. And we had to wait a few years while we built a network and a foundation that we could handle all that needed to be handled in regards to veterans issues. And that's when I said veterans get themselves we were easy to get ourselves in trouble, but not get out of it. And that's why we formed Veterans Court. It had been happening around the country, but not here in Indian River County, and we had a lot of resistance to it. Well, you got to know when three Marines get together, resistance has a tendency to back out, and that's what happened here. And we fought with the people from the VA who had other ideas about it and everything else. Bottom line, it's together. We have Veterans Court here in Indian River County, and it's unfortunately, but like you build it, they do come. And yes, we started out with 3, and then it's got up to, I don't know how many we got now, Sylvester.
Really, I don't have an idea. It's about
as far as mentors?
fluctuates. Yeah.
There were 7.
There's
No,
7
I'm
mentors.
not talking mentors. I'm talking about
How many clients
and
are in
Clients.
Veterans
Yeah.
Treatment Court?
Yeah.
I don't remember what
it's
what Judge Cox
15 or
said.
16,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
it fluctuates, and there's new ones
Right.
each time.
Mhm.
And so how does that work? Do you get assigned to one client, for instance?
Well, once they bring them to court and all that, Mike and I both normally decide who's going to take on the next person. I think I don't want to call his name yet.
No, but
That's not-
No, don't-
Judge
you
Cox
don't-
mentioned
No
it.
name.
Yeah, you
High-
don't have
high
to mention
pro-
it.
Right. So with that, we're assigned to.
And do you assign like by compatibility,
We try.
personality?
We try to match service, and
Mhm. So
course,
you don't put
age.
a Marine with the Army.
Sometimes
Oh.
we do.
Sometimes we have to.
Yeah, we
Marines
have
don't
to.
go to court too often.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Right.
Yeah.
We know how to get out of trouble. But no, it really doesn't make a difference what branch you're in. We all have the same attitude. We all sign the same kind of contract. We're all brothers. You know what? We all went to war or served. It doesn't make a difference what branch you're in. We're there to help with a hand up. That's the purpose of Veterans Court, to help them get back on their feet so what their mistake won't follow them the rest of their life. That's the purpose.
Yeah, I'm really touched. I actually have been a little bit of a hard time because you said that, it was time to pay back or pay forward, and you already did. So to continue doing that is so beautiful.
Well, the thing.
You've paid such a beautiful debt to, your country, and, by putting your life at risk and serving, in the service, in the military, and then to come back and continue, that is just such a beautiful thing.
But the reason we do that is because we understand the other veterans.
Right.
Most civilians don't understand them.
And-
Why are you doing what you do? But because we've gone through that with the PTSD, all 3 of us have PTSD, but we've learned to live with it and adapt. And so with this, we're out there helping that young guy, young lady, whoever it may be, have an understanding. So, hey, yes, you got yourself in trouble. Now we're here to help you to go through the system to get yourself out of this. Which before, when I came back home, I didn't have anybody
No,
there.
there wasn't anybody.
There was nobody.
So we're all combat veterans.
Mhm.
So we understand what they went through. Sylvester understands firefights. So does Vic. I was hospital corpsman. I dealt with the blood and guts. I picked them up, the pieces. So there's nothing that they can throw at us and say, yeah, but this happened to me. It didn't happen to you. You just don't understand. We do understand. And so we can make that connection with them. And, when they're like, oh, I can't handle this, and you just kind of sit them down and you just start talking with them. We'll actually swap war stories, and, and then they relax, and then we can get to them.
Most of the clients that you see through Veterans Treatment Court, are they, do they have PTSD?
Several of them that we have, yes. And I think the reason they got in trouble is because of what they were exposed to.
I know the clients that I have all have PTSD. I have a younger vet, 2 tours. He spent 5 or 6 months in the pokey before he got to be taken to Veterans Court. And I picked him. I had actually met him before he went to the pokey and helped him years ago.
For people who don't know what the pokey is,
That's the jail.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm an old
Uh-huh.
I'm 71, so yeah, I still use old language. But he had spent months before, and so when he had come out and I took him on, I knew he had problems. He had he had to be able to get a job. He had to be able to get back into his life. And he didn't have the means to do that. And people just think, well, we're there to, as a mentor to talk to them and through the. But no, in order for him to get a job, he had to have transportation. Well, his friends had worked on his truck and messed it up so bad, we spent $1,500 from our fund and repaired it. Well, he needs gas to get there. Okay, so we put gas in his truck. He needed guidance. He had a place to live, but he needed money to pay the electricity, the water bill. People don't think about those things. And there's very little assistance out there for people who are chronic in their needs. So we try to take that chronicness and turn it into acuteness to be able to him stand on his own and then resume his life.
That's wonderful.
That's what we do.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what a mentor does. Well, you're telling us, but what the criteria, some of other stories, and if people are listening and they are interested in being a mentor, how they get to be one. So we'll be right back. With all the tasks we have to fit in a single day, it's no wonder many of us are not getting adequate sleep. And even if you get to bed at a decent hour, you may be among the millions who toss and turn all night struggling with insomnia. Eventually, the fatigue will take its toll on your mental health. A simple tip for helping induce sleep is lavender oil. Just spray lavender oil mixed with water on your pillow, or put a few drops of lavender oil in your bath water, or even drink a cup of lavender tea before drifting off into blissful slumber. It's amazing how awesome you feel after a good night's sleep. To learn more about improving your mental health, contact New Horizons 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 772-468-5600 or visit newhorizonstreasurecoastinc.org.
For laser vision correction, general ophthalmology, glaucoma, and eyelid surgery, trust board-certified, fellowship-trained refractive surgeon Dr. David J. O'Brien at New Vision Eye Center. His practice includes the medical and surgical management of corneal disease and refractive surgery, including excimer laser vision correction. Call New Vision Eye Center for a consultation or second opinion. Your eyesight deserves world-class eye care. Visit newvisioneyecenter.com or call 772-257-8700.
It's fun to visit Audrey's Feed and Tack, a distinctive country and western emporium. For simply Southern living, you'll find the finest in cowgirl couture. Styles that are uniquely Florida for the whole family. Upstairs in our boot room, you'll find Ariat, Dan Post, Laredo, and 10 Hall boots. The biggest selection this side of the Big Lake. The freshest and finest feed, hay, and supplies for your chickens and horses and most other farm animals. Audrey's, a great adventure. 66th Avenue and Oslo Road. Like us on Facebook.
Hi, I'm Derek Ogden from Word of Mouth Computers and Electronics. Since 2009, my team and I have been providing South Florida and the Treasure Coast with the highest level of service in the technology field. Computers, networks, surveillance systems, web services, Wi-Fi systems, anything you need technology related, we're your guys. Small business technology and consulting is my passion. Whether your business has 1 computer or 100 computers, I will come to your office and give you a custom technology evaluation report, and you won't owe me a dime for it. That's right, a free in-office technology consult, but only for a limited time. For your home or business, all you need is one number for all your technology needs. Call me right now before time runs out at 888-966-7228. Remember, there's no obligation. That number again is 888-966-7228. And ask for me, Derek.
A member of the iTex training community. Your iTex dollars are welcome.
Welcome back to Mental Health Matters. I'm Lisa Reimer, and if you're just joining us, we are in the studio today with the mentors from Veterans Treatment Court, and they are Michael Bodner, Vic Diaz, and Sylvester McIntosh. Thanks, guys, for being here. So, Michael, what is a mentor?
A mentor. Judge Cox said battle buddy. So we're someone that the veteran can relate to. We're a fellow veteran. She told you the story of in Judge Russell's court, how this all started, where they took a man out and the veterans talked to him and they said to him, listen, you know, you're a veteran. You should be proud of what you did. You go back in there and stand tall in front of that man. You know, listen to what he has to tell you. We're trying to help you. And that's what he did. So we're able to take these mentees that are assigned to us, speak to them similarly. I mean, we can go out and we can discuss with them, say, listen, you know, I've been there, I've done that. You know, let's talk about what you need to do. You need to pull yourself up, and we need to get you straight. This is an opportunity. You know, you can either take it or not. Mm-hmm. You know, what do you want to do? So, I mean, you know, we don't sugarcoat it. We tell them like it is. And
what kind of time commitment is that?
We try to get a hold of talk to them at least once a week, and I think all of us talk to them more often.
Do you have more than one mentee?
Sometimes.
Yes, I think I have 3.
Oh.
At different times, I've had more. I only have one right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so is it mostly phone conversations, or do you meet for coffee, or?
Well, it all depends. I mean, you know, mine been on phone conversations, but there's times when I'll call and say, I need to talk to you, or you know.
So, you know, we spoke with Judge Cynthia Cox, who presides over the Veterans Treatment Court, a couple weeks ago on this show, and she explained, now this is for nonviolent offenders, felonies and misdemeanors, or just misdemeanors, or?
Misdemeanors and third-class felonies.
Non-violent felonies.
Okay.
Right.
And, you know, I've been a journalist in Indian River County before going to work for New Horizons for about 20 years, and I have to tell you, I've had very few interviews with recent veterans. They just are not fond of talking about their experiences, even if it's a very positive, you know, kind of an article. It's just me, you know, a reporter and a veteran who came out of combat. That is just not someone that they want to talk to. So when I heard that there were mentors who are working with these men and women, I just thought that was very interesting, because they will talk to you.
Yes.
Yes.
That's because they can relate. Like I said earlier, when I first came back, I would tell friends of mine stories, and they would call me a liar. Say, no, you didn't do that. Any idiot who jumped on 3 grenades, they not go off. And finally was wounded just 2 weeks before coming home. You know, God had to be with him. But you could tell a person who has never been in combat these stories, and they just can't see it or believe it. Mm-hmm. But relating to another veteran who is going through this and understand what you've gone through helps out a lot.
So we have just a couple minutes before we're going to wrap up the first half of this show, so I don't want to delve too big into the next question, because you talked a little bit about your difficulties, which we'll save for the next part of the show. But so working, though, with these mentees, it's helped you, yeah. Right? I mean, how could it not? You 3 were all in combat. Was it difficult at first when you first came back? Well, you said for you it was...
I was an alcoholic. I came back. I mean, you got to understand, when you're in Vietnam, you have your base camps. Well, I had a camp. Yeah, we had a club, so you can go drinking every night. And that's how you relieve your stress. You self-medicated. Mm-hmm. Well, when you leave the combat zone, I ended up only making it 5 months before I got medevac. So I spent a month in the Naval Hospital. As soon as I got out of that, I headed right for the bar. And I stayed that way for many years. So, and it got me in trouble, and, you know, it took me a lot of years before I was able to sober up. But one of the things that happens now, you understand, we can be mentors, but the mentors group, we're all best of friends. We all relate to each other, and that allows us as a group to be compassionate towards others.
That's wonderful. We're going to stop right there. If you tune into our Facebook page at New Horizons Mental Health, you can watch part 2 of this interview, and we'll be right back.